Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me now. But with that said, man, the Chicago Bears are have given Tremaine Edmunds permission to seek a trade. Now we all knew that the Chicago Bears did need to find a way to create some cap space. This is going to create the Bears about $15 million in cap space by cutting Tremaine Edmunds and coming down off that contract. We got Bobby in the building. What's going on, brother?
What up, though?
Same shit, different day, bro. Same shit, different day.
Already
How
know
you feeling
what's
about
going
this
on.
news, bro?
I ain't gonna go out there and say I expected it, but I'm gonna go out there and say I'm not surprised. You go out there, we know how much Tremaine Edmunds um was gonna free up if they decided to cut him or let him go. Ryan Poles during an interview session pretty much said that he's in the business of garnering more draft capital. So, and this is one of those guys, and one of the things that I took out of the interview was defensive speed. And while the defensive line wasn't as good, when it came to pass rushing, the linebackers, they lacked some speed in certain points
That's a
throughout
fact.
the games, throughout the season. Tremaine Edmunds, he was on a heater starting the season, but once he got injured, came back from injury, it wasn't quite the same. And Haize, I'm gonna throw it out there. We're gonna have to keep our eyes on TJ Edwards too. He does
Yeah.
have 1 year left on his current deal, but if you want more speed, you might be considering both moves at both linebacker spots.
Yeah, I mean, TJ Edwards is a guy that I can see the Bears keeping because he just seems like he fits in that mold. But this is a draft where there are a lot of linebackers in this draft, Bobby. A lot
Right.
of linebackers. I know we're releasing our Big Kev has his first mock coming out. I have mine come out probably over the weekend. But like this is a linebacker rich draft. So if Ryan Poles sees an opportunity to add young cost control contracts, especially with Caleb Williams, extension pending around this time next year, and you got to go out and get an edge. You may be right. We may see where TJ Edwards and Tremaine are both gone.
Man, and then if we just look at the last game of the season, which was the Super Bowl that I was upset we wasn't playing in, but nonetheless, you see how fast Seattle defense was?
Yeah.
They was everywhere. Everybody was everywhere. That's a defense that allows Dennis Allen to be the defensive coordinator that we want him to be. An aggressive defensive coordinator that's going to put pressure on the opposing team and go out there and get the job done. And it's a lot of moves that's going to be made. And we just got to trust the guys, because Ben Johnson said he wants to raise the level of competition in the locker room as well. They understand the relationships, but raising the competitions requires getting some young talent in here too.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, and that's going to be the premium. That's why, like, when of course, when we talk about like Max Crosby trades and all that, what it's going to cost. I just don't know if I see Ryan Poles doing that right now, where he's at a time where he's going to need, like, adding cost controlled young good talent is going to be at a premium right now because of the contracts that we have, the extensions that we have coming up, and you do have to think about that. So we'll see how that goes on. But, Tremaine, for what it's worth, Tremaine Edmunds has had his best season as a Bear, not statistically, but I think it's performance-wise last year under Dennis Allen. I do see some teams being interested in him. But to me, this means, hey, you have this time period to go out and try to seek a trade. But if that doesn't happen, you would have to think that means he's cut, right?
Yeah, I would absolutely believe so, bro. And I think that when we go and dive into some of the things you said earlier today and some of the things that the guys that's running the show has said, Ryan Poles talked about Caleb Williams coming up on contract. I'm pretty sure he has the foresight of Darnell Wright coming up on contract. You got to go out there, and what I've seen and what we know from the history of Ryan Poles and his history with Kansas City, you want to continue to have flexibility down the line. Would I apologize if we get Max Crosby? No, but I'm not going to be sitting here banging the desk if we don't get him either.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and I get it. Like, off seasons like this, I think people start setting their expectations to be the rumors. And I get it. Players like Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby, these are all names that sound great. And I would love for them, like you said, to be on the Chicago Bears. But I think we got to realize, like, you got to have more functionality than that. And going after the biggest name isn't always the thing that's best for the team. It's about finding the players that fit right. And I'm not saying you're going to find the next Max Crosby in the draft, but I'm sure when you look at the edges in this draft, you can find a damn good edge that can come here and give you more than what we had last year.
I agree with that, bro. And this the edge. Oh my God, there's so many good ones.
Yeah,
So many good ones that you can go out there and bring into the locker room and have around for the foreseeable future. And then when we think about the age of some of the big names out there, Max Crosby, 28, going on 29, Trey Hendrickson, 31 years old. You only getting a few years out of that. Versus if you go, yeah, we trying to push while we don't got Caleb on the rookie contract. But do we just want 1 or 2 good years, or do we want 5, 6, 7, 8? And
exactly.
I prefer the latter. Real talk.
Exactly. And I think that's when you've seen Ryan Poles and him being willing to do the slow burn and to build, like Ryan Poles has always talked about the thing that's sustainable, right? Like going after the big names is great, but it's not a sustainable model to build a team. I mean, there's a reason why guys like that, we see it. Like at some point, the team either has to let them go or trade them while they're on that contract, because it makes the latitude to improve your team. It restricts it a lot. And I don't know if the Bears feel like they're at a spot right now where they can be comfortable doing that, when technically before this, if they don't, like, you have to move Tremaine Edmunds, they have to create space just to be able to have the cap space to sign their upcoming draft picks, Bobby. Like
That's the
with
fact.
where we're slated right now, we're going to add about $11 million in draft picks. They don't even have the money to sign those guys yet.
Facts, which is crazy work. So it's gonna be a lot of things getting done. People getting cut, contracts getting restructured just to free up that money.
That's a
Just to
fact.
free it up.
So we'll see. I mean, I said it, many times before. I know you guys have said it too. Like this is a off season where Ryan Poles really has to cook, but be very diligent and intentional in the way that he cooks, right? Like it's not going to be cutting all these guys. It's not going to be trading all these guys. It's going to be a mix of that, restructuring some contracts. And that's just to be able to just get your draft picks and some new guys in there, much less add another $20 million contract on top of that. That's why I try to be very realistic when I talk about it. Like, all these names are great to talk about, but I don't want Bears fans to be disappointed if we don't land any of those names. It's not about the name. It's about the performance and production. And you can get production, and it doesn't always have to be going after that big name that's out there.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, bro. Because I would never apologize for having a Max Crosby on this team. But at the same time, you got to have some type of foresight to structure things properly. And sometimes you got to take a chance. Now, some chances that we looked at, we can go out there and say is a miss. But some chance that Ryan Poles has taken, we could say that he hit on those levels.
Yeah.
And if we being honest, the defense, we all talked about it. We're going to ride with the defense last year, turnover heavy. But we know that does not typically translate year to year. We know it's not they're gonna get turnovers, but it's not gonna be at to the level that it was last season. So you got to have something that's more sustainable, and what's more sustainable is building out the linebackers, building out the pass rushers, keeping them young, keeping them fresh. Because another thing that we got to talk about is the older guys typically are not available more so than the younger guys if we're doing a comparison with that. But I got a question.
Okay.
What you think the value is for Tremaine Edmunds? I ain't even gonna lie to you, Haize. If we could get a third, that's a steal, because I see the value probably being at a fourth round pick.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think you hit the nail on the head there. If you can get a third, even if it's a late third, that's a steal. More than likely, it's probably going to be a fourth round pick. And I honestly think, listen, you can find really good talent in the fourth round, especially, like I said, when you look at the draft, you could technically get your next linebacker in the fourth round in this one. With me doing my mock, the thing that's held me up a lot is like where to go after the ends, the defensive ends, where to go after the safeties, because this is a draft where I'm not going to say that we're going to necessarily get everything that we need, but I could see a world in which we do get everything we need at different levels. Like it really seems to be a draft that can shape up that way. So a fourth round pick, I think, would be great for the Bears.
I agree with that, man, because that's what's been hard, especially when you talk about the safety position. Because I'm looking at safeties and I'm like, man, the gap between the first two and like the bottom half on the best available list that you try to pick through it's a large gap. Not saying that the other guys can't come in and fill in and develop and stuff, but it's just like, damn, you want a good chance to pick, the best players at the position. So it's been a tough thing, but that's why they make all the big bucks to go out there and do the damn job.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Anything left, Bob, before we get up out of here?
I do, man. It's gonna be interesting to see Ruben Hippolyte moving forward. That's all I want to say. I'm not placing him in as a starter. I'm not saying that he's gonna be awesome. It's just going to, bro, you had a year of quote unquote development. What can you provide to the team?
And Ruben Hippolyte could bring a dynamic that we don't have. His speed and his ability to come around that for edge support could be huge for a team that needs the ability to get to the quarterback. So, like you said, he had that year of development. We'll see how that pays off for him coming into this season and what he's able to give. Hopefully, he's able to play a lot more than what he played last year. Because if you feel confident in Ruben Hippolyte's ability to start some for you next season, that solves one of those questions that we have there. One of them.
For sure. Do you think this move signal that they move into DeMarco Jackson?
I think DeMarco's coming back regardless, because I think he's not going to garner a lot of money. When you look at what we were when he was on the football field, it was really good. So yeah, I can see DeMarco Jackson coming back for sure.
Made some big plays too. So
yeah,
we're gonna see, man. You just getting started in the off season. There's a lot more things to come.
Absolutely. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure you guys are following us at Chi Bears Central. Send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, 773-242-9336 with your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. We'll see y'all. I'm sure there's going to be some more news at some point. We'll see y'all then. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.